All righty, good Tuesday to you. Just shy of 12 p.m. and this Tuesday, late morning. Jayme King now, Fox 35 Storm Center. Hope you're having a great day thus far. I want to tell you, the tropics, as we all know, are ablaze. Very, very active. We had a tropical storm strike on South Texas, courtesy of Harold earlier this morning. Brought a lot of wind and rain in there. Quite frankly and honestly, Texas needs the rain. It's been so darn dry there, but they've got some coastal erosion and a bit of flooding to contend with currently. This is Tropical Storm Franklin. Interesting longer term, will streak across Hispaniola by tomorrow and then morph into a Category 1 hurricane. Remains of Gert, well, that's fading out. This will be the last advisory on Gert. And we've got an area here over the far eastern tropical Atlantic with a 50% chance of developing over the next 7 days. This guy here, the remains of Emily, over the next 7 days, a 20% chance of that particular system restoking, refiring, and forming back in to a tropical presence. So we look at Harold, certainly not textbook, was kind of blobby looking once it moved into South Texas this morning, but you could see the big puffy clouds, indicative again of a lot of moisture at that tropical connection. We watched this thing blow through the Gulf over the weekend here in the Storm Center, and it had that opportunity for development. The GFS model actually nailing the prediction for a quick strengthening process prior to landfall there, up to winds at 50 as the tropical storm moves aboard here. So you can see all the heavy rain out of Corpus Christi up to Alice, Texas, just shy of San Antonio. Really in the hill country, they need rain in a bad way. So we'll monitor and see if any of that makes its way northbound. I don't think it goes as far north as Austin, Texas, but certainly anything will help in the Lone Star State right now. So the long-term outlook here on Harold, bringing it in northeast of Chihuahua, Mexico by 8 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, with winds at around 25 miles per hour. So it will begin to diminish in overall intensity. Forward speed will slow down a touch and likely dissipating over the desert's mountainous areas there across mainland Mexico. A look at Tropical Storm Franklin now. Current winds at 50 miles per hour. This is going to lift up and move right across Hispaniola. So you got the Dominican Republic on one side and Port-au-Prince, Haiti on the other. And once this moves across, it will unload a lot of water. We're talking heavy, heavy focused rains, mudslides, keeping in mind that a lot of Hispaniola, at least on the Haiti side, has been deforested, right? They've removed a lot of the trees from the mountainside. So when it rains and pours and you get that tropical connection, boy, that can come down as big-time mudslides. So we're hoping and praying things turn out okay for the good people in Hispaniola there. This particular system will ride northbound and morph into a Category 1 hurricane. Looks like by late Saturday and the early Sunday morning for the coming weekend is a Category 1. There winds at 80, and you can see here the cone spreading out. So anywhere longer term within this cone of uncertainty is what we call fair game, right? Either side of that, and it looks as though that'll continue marching steadily off to the north-northwest. Time will tell if we get more of a westerly turn. It doesn't look likely at this time, but we'll monitor regardless. Now we look at the current state of wind shear as we look at the big tropical maps here. Here's a look at that particular storm here at Franklin, moving across the extended forecast, showing us that it will remain in an envelope of what we'd call more favorable air to keep this thing humming along. You can see just to the north of the circulation, we have a lot of wind shear. This is wind in the upper levels that normally work in opposition to any type of tropical entity or presence, keeping things at bay. Sometimes it'll diminish in a high wind shear environment or keep it on a very, very low category as far as the structure is concerned. But I think enough to remain in this favorable zone to bring this up to Category 1 status. And boy, the water certainly warm enough in vicinity to this particular system. I mean, you look from there all the way out to our Atlantic shoreline here and the Sunshine State, the Florida Peninsula, out into the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, sea surface temperatures, what else do you say about it? I mean, just right? We're above the 79, 80 degree mark. So when you get into that realm, that zone, it makes development and intensification that much easier. Now, tropical modeling concerning Franklin here coming over the Dominican Republic and then spitting out here as we look a little longer term. So that's what we call the model consensus. And then wrapping back west, there's Bermuda, little tiny dot there, the Atlantic, pretty little island there. That'll continue moving northbound. What happens, though, on this track, why we don't have direct impacts here in Florida, we'll have some indirect impacts, right? We talk about the increase in ocean swell. So a longer period swell will likely begin to emanate from Franklin circulation. Take a couple days to blow on in here, but it looks like as we get into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll see an increase in that said ocean swell, and we'll watch the circulation go moseying on by here. This is the GFS forecast model, keeping it well north-northeast, but still continuing to spray our ocean shoreline here on the Atlantic side of our state and the eastern seaboard with more and fairly sizable ocean swell. So rip currents are going to be out of sight. Surf should be pretty smoking good with light local winds. So if you're an experienced surfer, this is the time that we always certainly covet and look forward to, but you got to keep an eye on the prize, right? So you see here, hot water fuels these tropical systems, right? And right now, we are in a El Nino pattern, right? Much heralded, we've heard all about it. And what that means is warmer waters here over the Pacific normally sparks up a lot of storms and hurricanes. Well, we've seen that there, but we're also seeing an uptick in the Atlantic where things should be a little bit quieter because of the hostile upper level winds that the El Nino patterning produces. But right now we're dealing with historically warm volumes of water, right? And that kind of X's out the El Nino factor, if you will, and allows for this rapid development. And we all saw that Colorado State and NOAA issuing new hurricane outlooks for the remainder of this 2023 season, and it does look like we are going to trend on the very, very active side. In fact, that activity continues to rise as we draw closer to September 10th, the historical peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, and then down we go as we look a little bit longer term by November 1st into December 1st, right? Hurricane season wraps up November 30th. So we hope, we pray things are quiet, but reality, it may not be. So we need to be prepared, and you need to stay with us here at the Fox 35 Storm Center, where we are always watching and always tracking the tropics and our local weather as well. We got you covered here at Fox 35. That's all for now for Fox 35. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jayme King. You're now updated on the tropics. Keep it here, and we'll keep you up to date. Be well, take care, and we'll talk real soon right here.